That tiny hole at the tip of a lollipop stick isn't decorative. It's what keeps the candy from flying off while you eat it. The third pin on a power plug isn't redundant. It could save your life. And those colorful patterns on bus seats aren't random. They exist to hide something most passengers never notice. These details are in objects you use every single day. Today, we're revealing 8 hidden functions that were in front of you the whole time. If you're new here, subscribe and hit the bell. This is exactly the kind of content we bring every week. Drop a like before we start. It takes 2 seconds and helps a lot. Now, let's get into it. Number 1, the half moon on your nail. That small white curved area at the base of your fingernails has a name most people have never heard, the lunula. It's not just a cosmetic detail. The lunula is part of the nail matrix, the tissue responsible for producing the nail itself. This is where cells begin transforming into keratin, the protein that forms the hard surface of your nail. Because of that, any damage to the lunula doesn't just affect the appearance of your nail temporarily, it can permanently alter the shape of the nail as it grows. The lunula is most visible on the thumbs and tends to disappear under the skin on other fingers, partially hidden by the thin layer of skin at the base of the nail called the eponychium. In some people, it's barely visible at all. In others, it's clearly defined on every finger. The difference comes down to the thickness of that surrounding skin, not to any underlying health issue. Number 2, stripes on plastic cups are purely structural. Most people assume the lines molded into the sides of plastic cups are purely structural. They're to make the cup more rigid or easier to grip. That explanation sounds reasonable enough that almost nobody questions it. But on many models, those lines serve a completely different purpose. They function as measurement guides, subtle reference points indicating approximate liquid volumes for different types of drinks. For anyone serving large numbers of people at events or gatherings, the lines allow for consistent portions without needing separate measuring tools. It's the kind of detail that gets designed in, used constantly, and never noticed, because the object works whether you understand the feature or not. Number 3, colored bus seats. The patterns on public bus seats look chaotic by design. Loud colors, random shapes, geometric forms that don't seem to follow any aesthetic logic. For most passengers, they register as ugly and move on. The actual reason for the patterns is practical and slightly uncomfortable once you know it. Those designs exist specifically to disguise wear, stains, and dirt that accumulate from thousands of daily passengers. A solid colored seat shows every mark immediately. A busy, multicolored pattern absorbs visual noise and keeps the seat looking presentable far longer than any cleaning schedule could manage alone. The pattern isn't a design choice, it's a maintenance strategy. Number 4, white spots on your nails. Those small white marks that appear randomly on fingernails have generated more myths than almost any other common physical detail. For generations, people attributed them to calcium deficiency, vitamin shortages, or dietary problems. The actual explanation is far more ordinary. The condition is called leukonychia, and in most cases, it results from minor trauma to the nail. Small impacts or pressure applied to the base of the nail that create microscopic air pockets within the keratin layers as the nail forms. The white appearance comes from light reflecting differently off those disrupted areas. In the vast majority of cases, the marks are completely harmless and disappear on their own as the nail grows out. They have no connection to diet or nutrition. If they appear frequently across multiple nails simultaneously and are accompanied by other changes in nail texture or color, that's worth investigating. But an isolated white spot on one nail almost certainly means you bumped your finger at some point and forgot about it. Number 5, the hole in lollipop sticks. Almost nobody notices the small hole at the tip of a lollipop stick, and the few people who do notice it usually assume it's a manufacturing artifact, something left over from the production process with no real purpose. The hole is entirely intentional. During manufacturing, liquid candy is poured around the stick while still hot. The molten sugar flows into and through that hole, filling it completely before hardening. As the candy sets, the material inside the hole forms a mechanical lock. The candy literally wraps around the stick through that opening, creating a connection that holds far more securely than simple adhesion between two smooth surfaces would allow. Remove the hole and the candy slides off the stick far more easily. A small detail engineered specifically to prevent a problem most people have never thought about. Number 6, the third pin on a power plug. The third pin on a power plug is the one that gets removed
first when someone needs an adapter, ignored when people debate whether it matters, and treated as optional by anyone who doesn't understand electrical systems. It is not optional. That pin connects directly to the ground wire in an electrical circuit, a dedicated pathway that conducts excess current safely into the earth in the event of a fault, a surge, or an unexpected discharge. Without it, that current has nowhere controlled to go. It goes through whatever is available, which can mean through the device, through the wiring, or through a person. The ground pin exists because electrical systems fail. Not often, but when they do, the difference between a tripped breaker and a serious injury can come down to whether that third pin was connected or not.
Number 7. Colored bristles on toothbrushes. The different colors and sizes of bristles on a toothbrush look like a design choice, something manufacturers added to make the product look more sophisticated or appealing on a store shelf. The functional explanation is more specific than it appears. Longer bristles are positioned to reach the spaces between teeth and along the gum line that shorter bristles can't access efficiently. The colored indicator bristles, typically the ones that fade as they wear, serve as a replacement guide, changing appearance over time to signal when the brush has been used enough that its effectiveness is declining. There's one more detail worth mentioning. The amount of toothpaste shown in advertisements, covering the full length of the bristles, is approximately 3 times more than what dental professionals actually recommend. The real amount needed for effective brushing is roughly the size of a pea. Number 8. Silica gel packets. Those small sachets filled with transparent beads that appear in shoeboxes, electronics packaging, and vitamin bottles generate more confusion than almost any other common product insert. Most people throw them away immediately. Some assume they're a freshness indicator. The warning printed on them, "Do not eat," makes them seem more mysterious than they are. Silica gel is a desiccant, a material that absorbs moisture from the surrounding air. The beads inside the sachet pull water vapor out of the enclosed space and trap it, maintaining a drier environment inside the packaging throughout storage and transport. Moisture is the primary cause of mold growth, unpleasant odors, and material degradation in stored products. A shoe exposed to humidity in transit develops problems before it's ever worn. An electronic component exposed to moisture during shipping can fail before it's ever used. The silica gel packet is the solution to a problem that occurs in the gap between where a product is made and where it arrives, a problem most consumers never see because the packet is doing its job the entire time. 8 objects, 8 details that were designed deliberately, used constantly, and noticed by almost nobody. A hole that keeps candy on a stick, a pattern that hides 1,000 stains, a pin that redirects electricity away from your body, a packet of beads protecting a product you haven't opened yet. The most interesting thing isn't that these details exist, it's that they work so well that nobody ever needs to think about them. Good design is invisible, and now that you've seen it, it won't be anymore.